Ray Rosher, Miss Britt Charters in Miami, Florida. Today I want to talk about one of the old staple rigs, a Ballyhoo rig. Basically, it's a rig we use on the charter boats with the monofilament leader. Catches a lot of different fish in the ocean. Easy way to make the rig, we use 80 to 150 pound test line. Tie a fisherman's knot. This is a 2-strand fisherman's knot, or we call it a tuna knot. Very strong, 2 strands of line going through the eye. And you take a piece of copper wire, poke it through about 1/4 inch, fold it over like that. Wrap it around 3 or 4 times. Take the wire, go back through the eye and pull all of that through. So now what you have is a rig with a secure knot, or a crimp, by the way, you can use a crimp, piece of copper wire, and now we'll use that to create this. So one of the things you'll notice on this is you have a hole with a little bit of a gap in front of it. That's because when a Ballyhoo trolls, it actually bends a little bit like that. So you don't want to restrict the beginning of that hole in the belly in front of the hook. We secure the Ballyhoo rig through the upper beak. So you want to measure out where that hook's going to go. Hold your thumb, poke a hole there. This wire is going to go through the beak, so I actually like to take my hook, poke a hole there. So those are the 2 holes I poke in the Ballyhoo before I start rigging. Now this part's pretty simple. We take the eyeballs out, so it makes rigging easier. If you don't take the eyeballs out and you troll it, the eyes will eventually come out, and during that period you'll have maybe an eyeball hanging out on one side, not the other. The bait may spin. So just go ahead and get rid of them in the beginning. He can't see anyways. So see how I just poked that hook right out the hole that was in the belly, and you see how that now lined up this copper wire with the beak. Now we're going to take that wire, go through the hole that I made with the hook. That pins everything up right there nice and tight. Go under, hold it up against the chin, go through the eye socket. You want the wire not to kink. So there's the second step. So we went through the beak, we wrapped it around the shank of the hook, went through the eye socket. Now we're going to go, I don't know if you can see that, under the gill, and again that kind of secures the head to the eye of the hook. Back through the eye socket, and now back around. You see how it's securing behind the eye of the hook? A couple wraps there, that really locks everything down. Then I take this remaining couple inches of wire and I wrap everything down tight. The knot gets secured to the bill. Then I always try to leave about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of wire unwrapped. And the reason is when you unrig this bait, you don't want that end curled, because remember on the very next bait we're going to re-rig it, we want a straight pin. So I'm going to wrap it around the knot a couple times. And you see how I just folded that top back. The last step is, you see that little tip of the bill hanging out? That'll catch seaweed. So we take cutters, clip that off, and see now nothing's really there to snag it. You can use a variety of things to put over the top if you want. If you're in the mindset that you want a little bubbling trail, you want smoke trail, then you would use like a chugger, like a little cup face lure. If you just want color, you could just put a sea witch or a skirt or a duster. But anyways, that's the old reliable dead Ballyhoo rig. Then I just wrap it around my 4 fingers a few times, coil it close to the bait, take that tail, go through 3 or 4 times, and now it stays put in your bait box, ready to go. Another thing a lot of people do is they'll salt their bellies, and that'll toughen them up, make them last longer.